If you're a first responder and you feel exhausted, but you can't relax, your sleep is wrecked, and your energy crashes mid-shift or on your off days, this video is going to connect the dots in a way no one in the fire service is explaining. Because this isn't about discipline, it's not about toughness, and it's not about needing more therapy sessions. It's about your nervous system. Because if your nervous system is dysregulated, everything downstream breaks. Your hormones, your sleep, your metabolism, your energy, your fitness, your recovery, no matter what you do, your nervous system is going to affect it. So today, we're going to break this down. Let's start with what the nervous system actually is, and why most first responders live in sympathetic overdrive, how it rewires our brains over time, and why PTSD, burnout, and hormone crashes are the result of it. So your nervous system has two main branches, the sympathetic system and the parasympathetic system. The sympathetic system is our fight or flight response. It activates when the tones drop, when you hear someone screaming, especially when you're getting ready for a fire. Your heart rate goes up, your breathing speeds up, adrenaline spikes, cortisol rises, and blood shifts into your muscles. Your vision narrows, and you become hyper-focused. The system is incredible. It saves lives, but it's supposed to activate during threat and shut off when the threat is over. The parasympathetic nervous system is the opposite. It's rest and digest, recover and repair. Your heart rate slows, your breathing deepens, your digestion improves, your hormones rebalance, inflammation decreases, and sleep becomes restorative. Your mitochondria produce energy efficiently, and this is what we call the state of healing. Now here's the issue. If you're a first responder, you don't occasionally activate the sympathetic nervous system, you live in it. Because for 20 years, you have irregular sleep, you're being woken up in the middle of the night. And these calls are not walks in the park. They're high stress, they're unpredictable. Even when we're sitting at the station, we're not fully relaxed. We're always listening, we're always scanning, we're always on edge. We're sleeping with one eye open. And that hypervigilance doesn't shut off when we go home. When we're out in public, we're still scanning. We're still sitting facing the door at restaurants. We're still reacting to loud noises, always on guard. And that's not personality, that's conditioning. And over the years, our nervous system adapts to that baseline. It says, this is your environment. You have to stay ready. So sympathetic activation becomes our new normal, and parasympathetic recovery becomes rare. That's called nervous system dysregulation. And this is where the long-term consequences start stacking up. For instance, let's look at hormones. When sympathetic activation is chronic, cortisol stays elevated. Our body is fighting between cortisol and testosterone, and it interferes with thyroid function. It impacts insulin sensitivity. It increases the dangerous fat in our belly, visceral fat. So now you think you should be training hard to get rid of it, but you got low testosterone. You think you're eating clean, but the belly fat won't go anywhere. Try as you might, you're exhausted in the day and wired at night. That's not an accident. All first responders experience this. And that's why being a first responder affects our sleep so much. Because when we're stuck in fight or flight, our body cannot go into deep sleep. And deep sleep is when growth hormone is released. That's when our tissues can finally repair. And when our testosterone pulses. Not to mention, it's also when our brain detoxifies. But if our nervous system doesn't downshift like it's supposed to, you'll stay in light sleep mode, like you do when you're at the station. You'll wake up with the slightest sounds and you'll feel tired even if you got 8 hours of sleep. That's going to lead to you relying on caffeine, which pushes us into sympathetic activation again, and the cycle just keeps on continuing. Eventually, your metabolism is going to get destroyed because chronic stress shifts your body towards survival, and your energy becomes prioritized for a threat response. Not recovery, not muscle building, not fat burning. It's thinking short-term survival, not long-term optimization. And our mitochondria, the structures inside our cells that produce energy, become less efficient under chronic stress. So now you feel fatigued even when your labs look normal. You want to work out, but you don't have the energy. And it's not because you're lazy, it's because you're stuck in survival mode. And here's the deeper layer. Our nervous system doesn't just influence our hormones, it literally rewires our brain. This is called neuroplasticity, and it can be a good thing because the pathways you activate become stronger. But if you repeatedly activate threat detection, your amygdala becomes more reactive. That's the emotional part of your brain. Your stress response becomes faster. Your brain becomes better at scanning for danger, scanning for problems, and that's useful on calls, but destructive at home. And over time, this wiring contributes to what we all experience as PTSD, anxiety, emotional numbness, irritability, disconnectedness from our families, being unable to sleep through the night. This is not a problem with you. This is simply a human adaptation to the stress of the job. Your brain is doing exactly what you trained it to do, staying ready. The problem is your brain doesn't know when to stand down. And here's the hard truth that they never taught you in the academy. The fire service focuses heavily on fitness and therapy after something breaks, but almost no one teaches daily nervous system regulation. And this regulation can't be once in a while. It has to be every day. It has to be proactive, not reactive, because we go all the way back to the root of this problem. Everything improves when the nervous system stabilizes. Your hormones balance. Your sleep deepens. The metabolism that was so slow improves, and your mitochondria function better, giving you steady energy so you feel like you used to. Now, your recovery is improving, your mood stabilizes, and your relationships begin to improve. But regulation doesn't happen by accident. It's not as simple as just laying on the couch. It has to become as important as brushing your teeth. So what does regulation actually look like? First, we're talking breath work. You want to breathe in a way that tells your nervous system you're safe. Slow inhalations for 4 to 6 seconds, and then long, slow exhalations for 6 to 8 seconds. Longer exhales stimulate the vagus nerve. That signals safety. That alone will shift you toward parasympathetic dominance. I recommend doing this after every shift and even in between calls. I personally do it before bed every single day because I'm downshifting proactively before I run into a wall. After a high intensity call, don't immediately go scrolling. Don't slam more caffeine because you're run down. Start to take some deep breaths. Even 2 to 3 minutes can make a huge difference because you're breathing with intention and the nervous system speaks breathing, and you're teaching your body that the threat is over. The third thing you can do is hygiene before bed. You want to dim the lights. No heavy stimulation. No intense social media or movies that make you all riled up. You want to breathe again. Journaling is a great way to release stress. Sitting in stillness, even for 10 minutes, will signal to your brain that it's safe for you to relax and go to sleep. Another great way is morning sunlight. Within 30 minutes of waking up, the natural light sets your circadian rhythm, and your circadian rhythm is what helps you sleep better. It's your body's clock. Better sleep equals healthier hormones. And fifth, awareness. You want to notice when you're holding tension, when you're holding your breath, when your jaw is tight, when your shoulders are tense. You want to start to look at your body as a compass for where you're at, sympathetic or parasympathetic. When you notice it, actively soften your face, relax your shoulders, slow your breathing, take a yoga class, do some meditation. You're literally retraining your nervous system in real time. This is not fluff. This is neurological conditioning. The job trains our nervous system to stay on. Now you need to retrain it to turn off. And when this becomes daily, everything about your life changes. You just don't feel calmer, you recover faster. You think more clearly. You sleep deeper at home. Your hormones begin to stabilize. Your metabolism improves. Your energy returns. And this improves all your relationships because your mitochondrial function better in a regulated state. But here's the key idea. You don't need to tough this out. This is not 75 hard. You've already done that. You need 30 soft. You need regulation. And when regulation becomes a daily habit after work and in between calls, you're finally taking control of your nervous system. Before bed, in the morning, giving yourself 5 to 15 minutes to tell your nervous system to downregulate every day, not just when you're overwhelmed, because prevention is easier than repair. So if you want to go deeper in how we treat both psychological and physiological issues every first responder faces, click the link in the description and download our free nervous system regulation guide. Inside, we break down the exact framework we use to help first responders rebuild resilience from the inside out. Because the strongest first responders aren't the ones who stay in fight or flight the longest, they're the ones who know how to turn it off. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and send it to a friend. I'll see you on the next one.